Indiana, which April, Indiana evenings tend to be, at least on the ones that are not raining, which is not a lot of them lately. But I'm out here not just for a pleasure cruise, trying to test a theory on a problem I've been having with the Cadillac, which is a stalling issue. Well, maybe not stalling is not the right word, but not restarting issue. What's happening is you start up the car, it drives beautifully, nothing's wrong. You can get out on the highway like I am right here. If you drive it for a while though and then stop, now if you go in somewhere for 45 minutes to an hour, it's fine. If you come back within 5 minutes and try and start it up, it won't start. Doesn't seem to be getting any fuel. No fuel in the fuel filter. Now, of course, all the fuel issues I did on this car last year and before, so I've got a new fuel tank, new fuel sending unit, all new lines up to the front, rebuilt fuel pump, rebuilt carburetor, top and bottom. So it doesn't seem like it's any issues with any of that. So I put a post up in the Cadillac Facebook group and said, hey guys, you know what's going on here. And most people were saying fuel pump, and I was like, well, it's been cold. The fuel pump is barely warm to the touch, so I don't think the fuel pump is still overheating or anything. People said, well, it's the car. I'm like, well, I just had the car redone pretty confidently, I think. So somebody suggested something. Speaking of not so great Cadillac drivers, hey buddy, find the road. Is that a Cadillac? I can't even tell. Well, whatever. Not a very good driver, I'm afraid. But someone said, just check your gas cap. I said, well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I put a new gas cap on it maybe a couple of years ago. They said, well, did you get a venting or non-venting? I was like, I don't know. They said, you got to have a venting gas cap that lets air into the gas tank. So as you drive along and your fuel is going down, you need to replace that with air to take up the same space. If you don't, you're creating a vacuum within the fuel tank. Now it's fine when you're driving because the fuel pump is chugging along, it has enough pressure going along to keep pulling it, but eventually you're going to reach a point of equilibrium where it won't. And of course when you stop, that fuel pump stops, and that vacuum that remains in the fuel pump will actually just keep pulling the gas back up the line and keep you from getting any fuel. Now, this seems to make perfect sense because, like I said, you let the car sit for 45 minutes, an hour, that vacuum finds a way to escape, and the car starts right up, drives beautifully again, no carb issues, no anything issues. So I've just had the car out for about a good 20-minute drive, including, probably about 10 to 15 highway miles. So we've probably, on this car, definitely sucked down a gallon or two. So we're going to give this sucker a park and see what we can see. First of all, if it'll restart. And second, we're going to take a look at that fuel filter and see what's in there. Hang on just a second. Okay, let's take a look at that fuel filter with what little light we got left. And if you can see in the low light there, but there's definitely fuel in that fuel filter. And I see before when I was doing this, there'd be just a trickle in there. No matter how much pumping I was doing, pumping, I couldn't get more to come through. So I should mention, the test here that people suggested was, I haven't bought a venting gas cap yet, but I just took the existing gas cap and just put it on very loose, not tight at all. I mean, just barely on there. So I think we may have solved our issue. Sorry, I had a slight delay there. A gentleman happened by and had to come in and ask me some questions about the Cadillac, which is a not unusual circumstance. So the car's been sitting for 3 or 4 minutes now. It does not look like there's a vacuum sucking fuel back up the line. So here is the test of the test. There should be enough gas still just in the float that I shouldn't even need to pump. That was the other thing I thought was going on, was I pumping too much and flooding the car. Well, the indication that there was no fuel in the fuel filter getting into the pump and then into the carb indicated that. So let's see here. Well, maybe I do need to pump after all. There she goes. Got a loose belt maybe. But I think we have solved the issue. I don't know if anybody watched one of my previous videos. I actually talked about buying that new gas cap because I suspected that it was there's the aftermarket one I bought. Look at, well, that's just for like 2 years ago. Look how nastily pitted it is just from that amount of time. But that is not a venting gas cap. But I think that's our issue. So I'm going to spend about 15 bucks on a venting gas cap, and I think my Cadillac Sedan issue is going to be over. Alright, that's the way it is with classic cars. Sometimes it's a great big expensive issue, and sometimes it's a $15 gas cap. Thanks.